Okay, so this is a video I never wanted to make. I wish this news was one of those fake, stupid rumor news articles that doesn't exist, but unfortunately, this is the reality we live in. This is some grave news, and it may not be news for some, because after all, many people predicted that something like this might happen when Mass Effect Andromeda didn't receive full praise and acceptance. But if you have already heard this particular news, do you know just how bad it is? I'm going to give you all the details and what I think Bioware's future will be. And not only that, there's some terrible stuff going on with Bioware Montreal, the studio behind Mass Effect Andromeda. Now, the first news I really want to talk about is the big news, and the one that I hate the most. Prepare yourself for this. Get your Medigel ready. Get whatever you need, because Mass Effect as a franchise is frozen and shelved until permanent further notice, I guess. It's going on a long hiatus until BioWare decides otherwise, meaning that the game is done. If we ever see another Mass Effect game again, it could be years. This game, Andromeda, just didn't receive the ratings that BioWare wanted to see, and as you know, a lot of people weren't happy with it. Reporting this news just really breaks my heart. Damn it, I really just want to tear EA's throat out, because I bet you it's their fault. I hate saying that, but I mean, based on their track record, I can't help but blame them, so you have to understand. They rushed Mass Effect 3, and obviously Andromeda looked rushed as well. I know BioWare may have some part to play, maybe they wanted to rush it too. But with all the stigma about EA, I just can't help but just get pissed off, excuse my language, at EA for this. I love Mass Effect as a franchise, and I agree, Andromeda just wasn't deserving of the Mass Effect title. I mean, look at Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. It was a whole nother freaking epic thing, totally on another level than Mass Effect Andromeda. But to pull the plug on Mass Effect as a franchise just really gets me mad, because if it's EA's fault for rushing the game and it doing bad, and EA is telling BioWare to pull the plug on Mass Effect or making BioWare do it, this is just terrible. And not only that, but the studio behind Mass Effect Andromeda, Bioware Montreal, who is one of a few of Bioware's development studios, they got more or less disbanded and shut down. Now, I don't like saying shut down because that's not entirely what happened, but let's say your boss tells you as a creative person who makes games and creative content, your boss tells you that you can't create any new games anymore and you could just help other people create their projects. That more or less feels like a nail in the coffin in terms of creativity and kind of what you wanted your career to be. And that is exactly what happened. Bioware Montreal is now classified as a support studio, meaning from this point forward it will no longer make their own games. They will only lend support to other Bioware projects. Bioware Montreal will finish its support of Mass Effect Andromeda DLC and online updates, but mostly they're going to focus on Project Dylan, Bioware's new IP that is set to be announced at EA Play this year, which is less than a week away. Yay, maybe. Who knows? Because no one knows a dang thing about this game. But on top of all of this, Bioware Montreal was downsized, having half of its employees sent to EA Motive to work on Battlefront 2, which kinda sucks for Bioware Montreal. It seems like they have a target painted on them. It makes you wonder, because numerous high-level employees have been leaving Bioware and Bioware Montreal specifically over the last couple of years. With this in mind, I have done some digging and I found a post on NeoGAF starting where Master Menace compiled some negative employee reviews from ex-Bioware employees. These reviews could shed some light on what's going on within Bioware. So this is what it says. First of all, what we can gather is that communication between the different Bioware studios is horrible. They do not talk to one another efficiently enough, and not only that, but they have a lot of conflicts, and there's even some immaturity going on with this bro culture thing. Now, I don't exactly take part in bro culture, so I don't know exactly what that all means. To me, it just makes me think frat guy stuff or something. Next, they say they lost over 13 leads, from game design leads to artists to audio programming. That's kind of what I said. A lot of people have been leaving Bioware over the last couple years, in the last 5 years, and a lot of these people were Mass Effect centralized. Bioware Edmonton only lost 3 people, so most of the people out of these 13 head lead positions were from Bioware Montreal. So it kind of shows you just how much of a hit Mass Effect Andromeda could have taken during its development process from all of these people leaving who had such a big part in the studio. And next, people have been saying that they have a performance improvement program which looks like they kind of put you on probation to force you to do better, or maybe to make you perform unrealistic expectations just so they can give you a reason to fire you. Looks like a lot of bureaucratic crap has been going on within Bioware, and that could lead to why a lot of people, especially executives of all people, have been wanting to leave. Now, I could believe that kind of stuff happens, but it just kind of sucks that it would have happened at Bioware. You think that such a progressive company would kind of be more structured than that. It makes me wonder how much of a force EA had in changing up all of Bioware's bureaucratic rules and stuff when EA partnered with Bioware. Next, it looks like a lot of stuff just based on HR stuff. Employees were rushed to eat. They probably didn't have enough breaks. They probably put the lunchroom all the way on the other side of the studio or something. Just a lot of little, minor things, but annoying things. Pretty much the employees didn't feel like they were valued enough, like they didn't get enough of a break, they were rushed. This kind of stuff has happened with Rockstar Games specifically, and it's led to why LA Noire had negative reviews, because their staff was forced to work 70-hour weeks without a break. And not only that, it looks like retaliation and harassment has been going on at Bioware Studios, according to rumors, so that could lead to a lot of people wanting to leave. And on top of that, if you do have this stuff happen to you, human resources will just kind of ignore you or bury you under red tape or other paperwork, and in other words, tell you to wait it out. And on top of that, and what seems like it's the most enlightening thing, many employee benefits get cut due to too much time extension to get a game done, which can show you that EA, or maybe it was Bioware themselves, were saying, hey, if you don't get enough done by this time, we're going to have to cut some of your vacation pay, we're going to have to cut some of your bonus pay. And that in itself will make employees and the developers rush a game just so they don't feel like they're getting screwed out of what they work hard for. So all this combined, especially that last one, can show you exactly why Mass Effect has failed. I mean, if you take your employees' pay away because they didn't do something by a certain time, all that's going to do is make your game quality suffer so much. You have to treat your employees well, because your employees are the game. They create the game. So that is what I think has happened with Mass Effect Andromeda. All this stuff, it's just really, really depressing. But you have to keep in mind, a lot of these are just handfuls of reviews from ex-employees, so it could be possible they were just peeved about them being fired and they wanted to stir the pot by saying a bunch of rumors. But I don't think that's possible. It just seems like the evidence just aligns perfectly. I don't think it's coincidental. And with all the recent news in mind surrounding Bioware Montreal, it just makes you wonder about the future of Bioware themselves as a whole. With Mass Effect on the shelf, that pretty much just leaves Dragon Age and this mysterious Project Dylan, which nobody knows anything about. If Project Dylan isn't successful, I'd be pretty worried about Bioware in the future. I mean, I love Bioware and I am still hopeful, but Project Dylan seems like it could be Bioware's saving grace or their final coffin nail. Now, what I want to know is, what do you think about all this? I want to read the comments. I'll feature some of the best or most interesting comments in future videos. And be sure to share and like this video if it didn't steal your purse. And be sure to share this video because it really is a huge help for the channel to have all you guys sharing this. I mean, I could share it as much as I want to, but to have awesome people like you to share it just really shows how much of a community we can build together. Share it on your Twitters, your Facebooks, your Reddits, your mom's house. Share it to a trash can. And as always, thank you for watching.